morning everyone, I hope you're all well. This video is to do with the last one that I did. I was asked by a lady after I made these encased book pages in vellum. I was asked by a lady about which pens work best, and to be fair, I didn't know the actual answer. So I know of some pens that work, but I didn't know about all the pens that I own, how they work. So I thought I'd do a quick video that you might like or find interesting. And I'm going to use a variety of the pens that I've got. And I've got a plain piece of paper here so that I can write it first on just ordinary paper. And then I've got a piece of vellum here, and I've sat it on a piece of black card so that you can see it more clearly, because if I put it on my normal background you won't be able to see very much. So at least with the black underneath it you'll be able to see it better. So I'm going to zoom in so that you can see these a little bit more closely. And yes, they're on the diagonal because that's how I tend to write, with my paper on the diagonal. All right, so give me a second, I'll get set up and we'll get started. So the first pen that I'm going to use is just a normal ordinary Biro pen, and we call these the big Biros. So if I write down on my piece of paper which pen it is, then I can repeat that on the vellum and I can see how each of them work. All right, so that's it on the paper, and this is it on the vellum. And if I brush my finger over it straight away, you can see that it's not smudging. Right, so we know now that an ordinary pen works. I've got a couple of Frixion pens, which are the pens that you write with, and then if you make a mistake with this end here, you can rub it out. Okay, so I'm going to do it with my fine one because my other one's starting to run out of ink a little bit. So if a lady very kindly sent me some of these, and I love it because it's a real fine nib. Okay, so I'm going to write Frixion Pen, Frixion Pen, and then I'm going to repeat it on the vellum. Because I certainly am not writing out the quick brown fox jumps over, no, the quick brown, yeah, whatever. Run my finger over that. Oh, didn't smudge. How does the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog? Aha, I remembered it. Okay, so we can see the Frixion pen works well. Now the other type that I like using are my Muji pens, and Muji is a Japanese shop. And they're an international company, so I like these a lot, and they come in all sorts of different widths. So this one's a 0.5, so if I write on here Muji, and this is a bit of a rollerball type pen. You can see the nib, that's right, Muji pen on there. Now I can see that that is a little bit on the wet side. I don't think that the camera will pick it up. So I would actually leave that for a little while for it to dry off, but just to test it. Oh, no, you see, it's not smudged. So that one works okay. Next one to try is this jelly roll pen that I've got in pink, and I don't own a lot of jelly roll pens, so pink it is. So all right, jelly roll, okay, and we'll do it on here, and I'm going to write this out twice, and you'll see why in a moment. Okay, if I run my finger over that, it smudges because I could see that it was wet because I tried it out earlier. So I've written it out twice because I'm going to leave that one to dry a little and then come back and test smudgeability on it. Okay, then I've got a Sharpie pen, okay, which is a permanent pen. This is quite a thick nib, this one. So I'm just going to write Sharpie and then write Sharpie on here. And again, I'm going to write this twice because when I tested it earlier, again, the same thing happened. When I wrote on it straight away and then smudged it, it smudged because it was still wet. So I'm going to leave this one to dry a little and we'll come back and test that in a minute. I've also got my Posca pens and I like to use the black and the gold the best. And I like a fine nib because I like to do my faux stitching, and I like these a lot. Now again, because I tested this out earlier and repeating myself, I know that it is wet. It smudges. So I'm going to leave this one to dry a little and we'll come back to that in a bit. Hokey cokey. So I've also got some white jelly roll pens. Now I've not even opened this pack yet. So let's have a look. So in here there's 3 different types. Oh no, you come. 3 different sizes, I should say, of pen. One's a 0.3, one's a 0.4, one's a 0.5. And that's the width of the nib. So let's have a look. I know I've already tried the jelly roll with the pink. Which one do I want? 0.0808. That's the middle one. Now obviously on white you shouldn't be able to see this, but let's just oh, it is working. Okay, so I'm going to write white on there, which you can't see because it's white on white, and then I'm going to write white jelly on there, and I'm going to do it twice for the same reason as the pink one, because it comes out wet and it smudges when it's wet. Okay, so that's those. And then of course you've got pencils, the likes of pencils. Now these are Aquara pencils. Let's do it in that one because that one's not being used. So let me write A-C, oh, can't even spell, A-Q-U-A-R-E-L-L-E. Okay. Now this as a pencil shouldn't smudge at all, but it is obviously, it moves when you add water to it. Not much smudgeability, a little bit, but that might be to do with the ink that I've already got on my finger. But nothing much. But obviously if I add water to that, it will move the pigment within the pencil. But if you add water onto vellum, it will make it all wrinkly crinkly. But if you want to write with a pencil, then we know pencils work. And then I've also got Medina Wakely scribble sticks. So we'll just try one of those. Let's go for a bright pink, Carol. And if I write Scribble, and this is the same as the Aquarella pencils, in that if I add water to this, it will disturb the pigment and move it around, but just purely as it is, it doesn't smudge. Okay, so those are my different options that I've tried. You might have more and different types of pens, but let's go back to these 3 here, or 4, because I've now allowed them to dry. The Jelly Roll still smudges. The Sharpie isn't smudging. The Posca pen isn't smudging. And neither is that white jelly pen. So that out of all of them, the pink one is the only one that smudged, even after it had dried. So you can use quite a variety of different pens on your vellum. So I hope that that answers the lady's question, and I'm going to go off and go and tag her now so that she can come and watch this video, and I hope that that answers her question for her. Anyway, that was it, short and sweet. Just wanted to show you my little test and how it worked out. Have a go with your own pens. You could then cut these out and stick them next to those on the white pen and keep that as an example, so that then you've got that information to hand. Okay, thanks for joining me. See you again really soon. Bye for now. Bye.